Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to teamfortress.tv. We are past the halfway point now of the ESEA invite season. We still have tons to go. It is now the push to get to LAN, in fact. And we've got two of those teams that are pushing to get to LAN tonight. And my name is Getawhale, by the way. I'm joined here by my right-hand man, Marxist. Dashner, of course, doing production. Marxist, I think what we're seeing tonight with the Madmen and Street Hoops eSports, this is the new rivalry at the top of invite, isn't it?
Yeah, these two teams are going to pretty much have to duke it out the whole season to sort out who gets the better seed at LAN, and also who gets to show themselves as having the best chance of beating Froyo when it comes to the big money-making day.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams right now are 7-2, and we see a lot of rivalries, and I was telling you earlier, Marxist, what I sort of think about this, it's great to see rivalries like, say, I don't know, Froyo or Elevate or whatever, but Froyo usually takes all those. This is a rivalry where the teams are not only, pretty evenly matched, and anyone could, I mean, they've traded matches back and forth over the past, couple seasons, but there's so much on the line. You know what I mean? They're just both at the same spot in the standings. LAN spots are certainly being thrown around right now. That's why I like it, because it's high stakes.
Yeah, it's also possible that either of these teams or Elevate could fall out. It's tight enough in the 2 to 4 position, being as they're only separated from Elevate by one loss right now, if I'm looking at the standings correctly. So it's still possible that any of these teams may just end up not going. So when it's that tight, these matches tend to mean a lot, and we'll probably see some pretty interesting things if somebody gets to the point where they believe that they may end up on the losing end of this one.
Absolutely, and if you guys missed it this week, a user on the forums, Alkaline, wrote a fantastic mid-season update, went over some of the teams and some of the scenarios for playoffs, and that's what I liked about it. So if you haven't read that already, go check it out on the teamfortress.tv forums. Without any further ado, though, why don't we look at the rosters? Marxist, what do you think?
Yeah.
I'm going to look at the Madmen first, and you'll notice we have a fantastic-looking board here for the Madmen. Of course, the Madmen are in dust on Medic. We have Blank, of course, the Pocket. We have we're switching around. We're good here. We got Blank and Harb, of course. Harb roaming. We've got Pharaoh on demo. Seymour, and You Must Mike playing Scout. And you can see here some of their stats. We'll dig into a little bit of that later on. Do you want to tell us about the Street Hoops boys?
Oh, I sure will. So on the Scouts, you've got Paragon and Sizer. The Roamer will be Ash, who's making a little bit of a name for himself, finally getting some recognition, I'd say. Grape on Pocket. Ninja Nick will be joining him as the Medicals man, and the other half of the twin brothers from Deadbolt and Paragon, Deadbolt, will be playing Demo Man.
I've gotten word that the Madmen overlay wasn't working on that first one, so I'm going to talk about Madmen again. Madmen, of course, you've got Indus, who's been around for a long time. He's playing Medic. We have Blank and Harb, who have been around for probably even longer between the both of them. Of course, on Soldiers, Harb roaming, Blank Pocket. We have the Tattooed Pharaoh playing Demo Man. We have Seymour and You Must Mike. Unfortunately, the Pharaoh player model, no tattoos. I don't know if you could get enough tattoos to accurately represent him, but that's the Madmen roster, of course. Why don't we take a look now, Marxist, at the Pockets? We talked about the Pockets just briefly. Of course, they are Blank and Grape. I mean, that's if you're looking to see anyone play during this match, if you're a Street Hoops fan, it is probably Grape. If you're a fan of the Madmen, it's probably Blank. And actually, Blank was here last week doing great analysis. They're very close in stats. Grape sort of has the edge, though, when it comes to almost everything. I don't know if the length of the matches has anything to do with it or not. Grape, of course, a huge edge as well with medic kills and sort of going in deep a little more often, 23 med kills. You can see the rest there for yourself. In terms of DPM, they're very close. We look at DPM so much. Does anything stick out to you? We've seen, of course, Blank and Grape play a lot this season. They're obviously alike in many ways. How are they different, Marxist?
Well, for the way 20B plays, Grape's added med picks kind of demonstrate it statistically. If you're into analytics, Grape tends to be a lot more of the driving force behind his team's pushes. Blank is more of a cog in the machine that is the Madmen, and that kind of shows in that his statistics are good. He's an invite pocket, but he's clearly not the one that's like, it has to be Blank if it's going to happen. A lot of the times on Street Hoops, if Grape can't get it done, then that's just, pack it in for 20B. They're going to be taking a little break.
Yeah, it can happen, certainly. Everyone can have a bad night. I'm kind of throwing an audible here. Why don't we look at the medics a little bit and compare the medics, of course. We talked about we have Indust and Ninja Nick, and you look at the stats, and so many of them are very equal. 3 Uber drops, 4 Uber drops. I like to watch both of these guys. I like to watch both Indust and Ninja Nick because they're both really aggressive at times. They're fantastic medics, absolutely, of course. They're probably in the top 3, of course, for meds and invite. What do you think, I guess, would be the key? We're playing, obviously, Badlands this evening. What's the big key in your view, Marxist? Is there a big secret to Badlands for medics?
Well, for Badlands Medic, it's mainly positioning on this map. If your positioning is solid and you back up and go forward when you need to, you'll pretty much be okay. I know for Ninja Nick, his job will be a little bit simpler just because the format that 20B plays with is a lot easier to handle. Indust always, I imagine for the way Madmen like to play, they like to do a lot of, I wouldn't want to call it freaky, but they do a lot of odd things with their medic, having been a player that played on some Madmen-esque teams over the seasons. And it can be hard to adjust to at first. Endus seems to be doing fine, but he has to do a lot. He has to use a lot more of his brain parts throughout the game, most likely. Not to say Ninja Nick isn't smart. It's the way things are built. So we'll see how it goes. Which team can manage the sort of positioning battle on this map.
I think we all picked up really on the shots that you're firing there. You're just saying, smaller brain for Ninja Nick. We get it, Marxist. We get it. You're playing faves. We wanna give a shout out, by the way, to Uber Chain and Gentleman John while we get a chance for making all of our lovely overlays and fun stuff here tonight. We'll call them out again at the end of the stream. But it is Badlands. It is the top map, of course, in the universe. Shout outs to Papa Smurf. Guys, we have a straw going. I'm sure most of you already voted in it. If you haven't, go vote on it. 60% of people feel like Street Hoops is going to win this evening. Would you agree or disagree, Marcus? I already asked you before, but what are you calling out for Preds?
Yeah, as far as the Preds, I really like Madmen. I'm friends with a lot of people on the Madmen, so it hurts to say it. But I'm reluctantly going to favor 20B in this match. I think from what I've seen out of 20B, they are more of a unit than Madmen at times. And I think they sort of intrinsically understand what it is they're trying to do as a team more often than the Madmen. But you never know. The Madmen could have brought it together over our little halftime break here, since we're midway through the season. Usually around the midway point, Getawhale teams sort of have that heart-to-heart with each other and sort of say, here's what we're going to change about what we've done so far. So we'll see. Maybe they'll bring something out a little different. But I'm gonna say that the viewers in the poll are probably going to come out on the right end of this one.
All right. Now, I remember the last match that we did, the straw poll was wrong. It's crazy, I know, that straw poll could be wrong, but we'll see how it plays out at any rate. If you guys are just joining us, thanks for coming to TFTV tonight. My name is Getawhale. His name is Marxist. It's Street Hoops and Madmen. Madmen been playing pretty well, though, recently. They're, I'll give you the good news. They're on a little 3-game winning streak. The bad news is that their last 2 wins were against teams that don't exist anymore. But, it doesn't matter. They all look the same in the standings, right? It doesn't matter if it's Monet or R5 or whatever they're called. They're not teams anymore, but a little 3-game win streak. I look at it, Street Hoops as well. They lost the first game of their season. One little interesting thing I noticed, they've lost the first game of the season the past 4 seasons in a row. Nothing really to that. I just thought it was interesting, but they won 5 in a row after that. So they're both at 7-2. Guess what? We're picking sides, Marxist. Who do you think we need to look at on this first mid? I'm letting you decide.
Oh, well. I'm going to go with my baby girl, Pharaoh, because You know, it's traditional to do the demo man first, and because, you know, Pharaoh and I have spent many a season of TF2 together, he can be kind of a technician at this opening demo part.
Fair.
Despite the nerf.
That's fair. Take it away.
Alright, so we got Pharaoh dropping sticks out here. They're doing the traditional demo man house of battle, falling back. Madmen actually up on the point already. We've got a soldier and Grape getting kicked down to the ground, slowly developing, but 2, 3, 4 players all down. So they basically just got a flank in there from 20B, and Madmen evaporated despite their positioning advantage initially on mid.
Yeah, so falling apart. Apologies, guys. Scoreboard broken temporarily. We'll try to get that back. I saw a real great play from Street Hoops that I need to shout out. I don't know if it was scouted ahead of time or what. Harblue went far right side and tried to get in behind to surprise Street Hoops, but Ash rolled out that same way. He rolled out left by himself, just anticipated it, and they pounced right away. So that was very impressive to me. Harb is about to go down here again to Ash, or maybe not. Ash gets him there. Holding on to full Uber is Ninja Nick, so certainly looking really good on this first round, and the sack did nothing. I don't know what Harb was going for. He was up on backs, but totally unsuccessful. Time to come on in. 20B do. They have a real early pop, but guess who? They have the Seymour, the Pyro in their face. He does a real great job. Cuts maybe half of this Uber off, and Ninja Nick kind of hesitating. They're going to see here, they're going to have to get the better of this sort of after push.
Yeah, the tragedy struck, though, because Endust is down. Sub puts Madmen in a really tight spot here where, if necessary, 20B could just back out, but they're not going to need to, and they're going to grab this first round in pretty convincing fashion. Harblue tried to go for the play there. It didn't, it didn't work out. And so there we go. We end up with a 1-0 lead.
Well played, and Street Hoops looking scary so far. We'll see if it continues. So I'm looking at Ash, because like I say, he's going left. Him and Paragon have gone left. They're anticipating someone trying to get behind, probably Harblue, and Harblue probably learned his lesson now. Ash is going to come in and go around if he can. Meanwhile, we got soldiers up on the point. Madmen sort of playing left a little bit, playing train car if they can. Grape was on train car. Ash and Devil are both down, and now Grape, I think, is going to get out with Ninja Nick. Do some damage if he can. He catches blank there, which is very impressive. But they're going to get out alive. They're going to see this mid. Both medics are still up, and 20B just playing it safe. They don't need to sack in for nothing, Marxist.
Yeah, there's still a player down, one of which is their demo. So that actually puts the Madmen in the place where they could do something, but that choke spam really catches Simu out by surprise. So they're probably going to pull back. We'll probably watch Harblue come up here. I'm surprised that we didn't see anything too wonky come out of Harblue just yet. I guess they're gonna try and play the normal way first.
Yeah, I think he got shook right down. I don't know what he's thinking after that first mid. Maybe we'll listen to comms on the next mid and see what they're thinking. But no real shenanigans on the flank right now, surprisingly. Most action, Pharaoh's gotten in already. He's actually at the barrel. He backs up a little bit. Ninja Nick is backing up. They're at bridge, Gray Bridge that is, and nothing really right now. Madmen sort of playing very passive, not really taking a lot of chances right now, just kind of chilling and circling around now. We've got 20B looking to come out through house, and they do. Early pop on Grape, who comes in on Pharaoh. Pharaoh jumps away a little bit. Not a lot of damage used right now, and this Uber maybe not going the way Ninja Nick wanted. Real great job by Indus, who finally does pop. Harbs is coming in. Harbs wants to sort of block off some ground here and get Ash if he can. He's chasing down Ash, and he's going to gets the pick on Ash. 3 up, pretty good Uber there for Madmen. What was Ninja Nick thinking there? I mean, how did that all break down?
Well, they had Harblue sack in. Nick did a good job getting away, and Grape had a pretty good air shot on Harb that'll probably go on Grape's YouTube channel in the coming days. And then when the Uber came back in due to their player advantage, they got in and tried to get to Endust, and he surfed over to the little balk area on mid, and they couldn't get to him and didn't secure any other kills. And then Endust kind of just came out, and they got 2 quick kills on their Uber. One pretty good one from Harblue there. And that's sort of the Madmen's code, is that they don't like to give Ubers in those defensive situations. So Endust playing it the Madmen way there, and it worked exactly as intended.
Okay, they're thinking about underneath. I'm thinking right now, Blank is actually both soldiers just sending double soldier bottom right. Let's see how this plays. They know, I think, that there's a gun in there already. Both soldiers, I don't know, trying to get maybe a cheap little pick. They're going to rotate now again, maybe just showing right. And they're coming back up now, and nobody has gone down. It was an interesting kind of move. We have Sniper up, that is, or sorry, no, we don't have Sniper up, but we do have the Engineer, which is Sizer. And Blank is down below now. They're scoping out this point, looking for a way in. What's the way in, Marxist?
Yeah, I like that right side play. That one's sort of as old as time itself. But now they've got both soldiers lower, and they're going to try to spam down the 7th player here. And you've got the pocket tanking it, so as to protect the 7th player, doing a little bit of that. So nice move from Grape, saved some of Sizer's metal, but that 7th player is still alive. They're going to get the dispenser pick again. Blank building his stats.
Paragon taking a lot of damage. He finally did go Sniper, as I expected he would. He's in spawn, took some damage. We want to thank Twitch chat, by the way, for helping fix our scoreboard. That was helpful. Blank now is thinking of going in. They're waiting and waiting. We don't always see moments like this on Badlands because you're just giving the Engineer time to stand there and pound away on the 7th player, as you put it, the Sentry Gun, which is a level 3 right now. Just kind of stalemating right now. Actually, a little bit of action. Seymour's moving up a little bit, and we've got a little bit of action on that right side if you're looking at it from the Madmen perspective, as I mentioned. We see soldiers go down that way a lot, and actually we saw Ash go down. I missed that was probably a sack. The Ubers are in, though. Meanwhile, they're fighting to get this gun down. Perro's in behind. He goes down real early there. Sizer's back on scout and is going to come out and try to do some cleanup as Paragon, his partner, is working on Harblue a little bit, but Street Hoops really got the better of this one, and they're just cleaning house right now. US Mike tries to sneak in. They're going to clean that off. I don't know. They're thinking of moving out right now. The scoreboard shows nothing right now. It is 1-0 actually for Street Hoops. We're still working on getting the scoreboard fixed. Our apologies, but nice work. Really nice cleanup and clean push out of last by Street Hoops.
Yeah, I don't want to take away from Street Hoops' his play there, because it's still hard to push out no matter what. But that was an abysmally bad Uber from Madmen. Blank went in and then tried to shotgun the sentry that was being repaired, which is an impossibility. Such things do not happen in TF2. And Pharaoh didn't come with them, and that's, that pretty much means the gun isn't going to go down, and then Pharaoh died.
He went down really quick, yeah. He was trying to just sort of maybe come in after the Ubers faded, but real nice spam took him out. And meanwhile, we've got another blue Uber, and it's great going into the skybox, popping down, and gets kind of separated and goes down very quickly here. So Madmen getting the best Uber, certainly, as Nick's already out. Sizer and Grape both down, and so Madmen with another great Uber are hopefully going to be able to strong-arm this. They're going to come right into second. The Ubers are both equal, though, but like we said, numbers down for Street Hoops. They're just going to back right up, and going to see Tall Paul maybe making another little gun, possibly.
Yeah, we'll probably see this. The Grey Bridge positioning for Indus is a little scary right now. But they're basically saying, I bet 20LB won't, or 20B won't try to do anything to us right now.
Well, you don't dare these Street Hoops guys. Paragon is out. He's sacking out his scout. He goes down very quickly, though. I don't know. You can't put anything past these Street Hoops guys. They're, look at this. I mean, they're all up on bats right now. Very difficult, though, to take, come from bats. And certainly they're denying second, but look at this. They're coming right down on a second.
Yeah,
they've got Ash coming in for support now as well.
Positioning.
Yeah, well, you called it when you were talking about Indus, certainly. It wasn't just Indus, certainly, but the aggressiveness, I mean, from Street Hoops, if your demo is up, I mean, Deadbolt did a great job of denying that, and it kind of becomes elementary then to just get on it, right?
Yep, as soon as you sit down there on Grey Bridge not doing anything, is when the other team can mount a defensive spire, and then you can't cap it, and eventually they will come down on you with Uber, which is exactly what they did, and now you're back at mid. Ash is down, so that gives them a little bit of an area to push, or at least for Harblue to try and do things, but I don't see Harblue.
Harblue just got back up. He just got in. I watched him come out of forward spawn, so Madmen, the timing not working on their side for any sneaky plays, although I'm getting inside information that Harblue's playing sneaky as he usually does. That wasn't as sneaky, kind of just knocking on the door with a... I don't know, just beating down the door, kicking it down. I don't know what to call that. He just came in and died, but still hanging out right now. Is Harblue down is going to be enough. Ash is in, and they don't want to use the super if they don't have to. Ash and Great both in, finally forcing Indus. Really great already, both scouts down, and that's give that one to Pharaoh and Blank. They got really nice picks on Paragon and Sizer. Street Hoops, they've had okay pushes, but their Ubers have been just really unlucky so far, Marxist.
Yeah, Madmen are doing a pretty good job on their defensive Ubers, and they're keeping 20B honest here. Ash is still back at mid, by the way. I should make note of that.
He's just hanging out, of
But
course.
he's just trying to be a distraction. We got an Uber Force now.
Oh, boy.
That's going to be Harblue getting that, and they are going to get 2 as well. So we'll see what Madmen try to do here. You can catch 20B in a sort of moment of disorganization, but it looks like they've got enough people on the Spire. They're not going to mess with that. So at the end, Madmen have bought themselves a huge Uber advantage, though. So
yeah,
they just had
Ash,
to play it a little safe there.
Sorry, Ash is back in position now. He's playing in the correct place. He is holding down the flank, as is his job. Let's Harblue in, and he's going to come. The push is coming from behold. I don't know if they know Ash is in there. Ash now gets right in on Indust, gets some rockets on Blank as well, and Ash is still in there in forward spawn. The Uber has been forced on Indust. Ash is still there, just firing away, playing lone wolf. He's got to get in and do something, or he's just going to be stuck out for nothing. Meanwhile, back at point, I mean, the point does get taken by Madmen, but Ash is going to pick his time here to move in, maybe? Ninja Nick's still hanging in there. He's got 80%. Ninja Nick is still up.
Yeah, they got Endust, which is a small victory here. They got to clean up the scout in lower lobby. They get him. So back Caparuni though.
Wow.
So there goes 1-1.
So just kind of an issue of timing there. I mean, that was unlucky, but certainly looked like Madmen were about to sort of take control of that despite losing some players. I want to look at Deadbolt, I guess. We've already had a look at your boy Pharaoh. Let's look at the other demo. It's Deadbolt, and he's making his way to mid, coming out through house, and try to shut down any jumps if you can. We've seen soldiers do different jumps kind of all over the place. I forgot we're going to get comms. Maybe on the next push here we will go and get comms. Apologies, guys. Ash is in behind. We have Grape down, Harblue, Indust, You Must Mike are down. So those are some, wow, and almost all of Madmen down. Seymour trying to get in and make a difference, but he goes down as well. That is a full wipe. We do have comms, Marxist. You have to remind me of these things. You know?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say we need to use them now, because
we can act them out now.
This might be another pretty quick round. I'm honestly surprised. We do have a soldier running around in upper lobby. That's Ash. He's living the roamer dream. I always tell the newbie mix folks, if you're the roamer and you survived mid, then you get to do whatever you want to do.
Within reason.
Not
anything.
I mean, in general, you can just do whatever you want. You've been given a special gift from heaven.
From God.
But we should see a pretty quick push coming out here. They're trying to build a gun, is Simu, but it's in its infancy right now as the 7th player.
Playing some aggressive defense here. I'm looking at the soldiers on Madmen who are really forcing the issue. In comes Street Hoops, and Harblue dies in spawn, which is unlucky. But right now he's the only one down. They're still working on getting in here. Ash is going down. Pharaoh holding down the fort. The Red Uber just kind of running around down below. They don't have anything in the way of height advantage, but 20B very smartly are getting out of there because they don't want to bleed anymore.
Oh, and they're going to get You Must Mike with the classic sticky trap on the shutter door. I mean, it clears out for a soldier to try to do stuff, but it gets really risky at this stage in the game. You don't want to do that too much. Simu's being a nuisance over in the side. It looks like he's going to bail out. Harblue's going to get Grape in a sort of forward hold-ish situation.
He survived with... He had 1 HP in bats, and then he finally went down to Ash. He had his skill stick out. Paragon is up in Sniper and is having a 1v1 right now and gets Blank with a no-scope, which is nice. And they're going to try to just build and come right in. A lot of spam from that loose cannon to Pharaoh, who takes a body shot into spam. I think 20B are just going to walk right in. Looking really good for 20B right now. They have a scout there. They have spam to walk on as well. Paragon looking for a shot. I'd be very surprised if Street Hoops can't take advantage of this. Grape finally just gets on it. It goes down, though. And kind of beefing it there. Caster's Curse, maybe. Street Hoops not pulling it off.
Yeah, Paragon got 2 no-scope kills there, using his railgun a little bit. But, yeah, and Indust went down in a pretty crucial situation. His options were limited. It wasn't his fault, but that should have been 20B's time, really. But Madmen pulled it together. They let You Must Mike scare them. Sorry for cutting you off there, partner.
Sorry for cutting you off, Marxist. Marxist, listen, we're looking right now at a situation at mid. We've got to remember that in terms of the match, it is 1-1 right now. There might be people still joining us. Ash is in on You Must Mike. Meanwhile, Blank comes in and sort of gets rid of him right away. And we've got a big skirmish going on right now at bats. 2 players are left up for Madman. One of them is Simu, who's going to go back and resupply, but 20B getting this, they're going to wait a few seconds, but they're going to get on to second point. They are going to take Spire. They are, looks like Madmen are going to get their respawns just barely here, and so they're very fortunate in that regard, because if not, they could have got really stuck there. But they're still up against a full Uber, which is not fun, and Indus is not up yet. Indus just now getting his respawn.
Yeah, this is one of those times where, like, okay, I hope to God I can crit seal everybody on this team all at once, because it's coming. Yeah, Indus just goes straight to the ground. There's not a lot of options for him there. Trying to find an Uber, but Pharaoh gonna get Deadbolt. Paragon and Grape all down. Indus gonna somehow kill Ash in some way, shape, or form. And that's how you Uber in Uber versus no Uber and lose 4 people and do not cap the point.
Stream highlight.
That will be the end of that. Madmen's going to cap this. They'll have Uber advantage going forward. They've had trouble with their offensive Ubers so far. We'll see what they're going to do. Blank's going to go out of the little house side door there. You got to get a kill or 2 here at least. Harblue trying to get it. It's not going to happen. So we're setting up for a little bit of a game of leapfrog here with that Uber.
Yeah, definitely. We're in that kind of piggybacking situation now. I'm impressed with how Street Hoops got out of that Uber. It seems like the whole team surfed away. I was almost wondering if quick fix was being used. It was some nice surfs, some nice jumps out. Grape is coming in though now. They're looking to clear some sticks and move in with theirs, and they really want to get this pick on a Mad Beat. Grape beefs his jump right off the bat. Doesn't look like the piggyback is going to end any longer. This is certainly, this middle is not a spot where you can really get easy med picks, is it? They're counting on Ash, actually, who's in real deep, looking to get something on Indus if he can, but Indus does stay up. He's at 68. He grabs the medium pack, though. We're
Pharaoh is at 1 health, too. I should point that out. So this is a really risky situation for him. He has to wait for the pack, because there's fighting going on right outside the door, and one stray scatter shot would be the end of a demo. But Sizer and Ash both down, so we're back into the piggyback. The vital thing here is that Madmen did not have to pop their Uber, so now they're set to push 2 if they do it quickly. They're going to go through the flank.
And Ash is backing up into resupply again, the forward spawn, and he's going to try to maybe do the same thing he did, which is sort of sneak into spawn and then come around back. I'm wondering will Madmen play it this time and sort of be aware of it. Ash is living in forward. I don't see that strat too often.
The Madmen are taking way too long here. They're going to let Ninja Nick get an Uber, and then Grape will be able to play MGE Spire against you, which is not something you really want. We got Harblue in, trying to get the force. He is going to pop is Ninja Nick. So now the Madmen can just run away, and as long as nothing terrible happens to them on the flank, they'll be A-okay.
We've seen terrible things happen, though. It's not outside the realm of possibility as we chug away here in this half. It is still 1-1. This round getting fairly long. And when you get in this situation on this map, Marxist, I feel like you can piggyback for quite a while, can't you?
I mean, it's possible, but we'll see how things go. It's going to be big about how you get kills on this push, because the Madmen, if they can get a couple quick kills and get into lobby quickly, they can use that Uber on last, which is what they want to do. They're actually going to use it really early because they've got a demo man caught out. That's pretty much the best skill. They're going to get another here in Grape. A little bit of an unorthodox push, pretty aggressive from the Madmen. Scout versus Blank. Blank's going to go down, and Dust is trying to do his best. He's not going to get it, but the point is
Mike was on last the whole time, and again, both rounds now by Madmen. I don't want to say they're not earned, but they were certainly a scout just sneaking on there. We've got 11 minutes or so now left in this half, and who am I looking at? I'm going to look at Grape, who certainly will want to, make an impact on this mid. We talked about him at the start, the pocket for 20B. If you're a 20B fan, you want a round, certainly. 11 minutes, more than long enough to do it. He's going underneath bridge right now, and he's right in on Blank. Blank, though, getting the better of that one, so there's your pocket B pocket. Deadbolt, meanwhile, trying to get some sticks down and trying to take out a scout or a medic or someone. He finally craters. Indust playing this mid quite well as well. But we've got an Ubersaw battle going on, and it's Indust. Oh, Indust goes down to Ninja Nick. And that was an Ubersaw kill, and I haven't seen that on a mid in a long time.
Yeah, sometimes the call every man for himself comes out. You have to fix bayonets and just do the best that you can. And they got, the Ubersaw came out for Nick there in that little fight. Indust, I always say, if you're starting to lose the mid, it's better to just kill the enemy medic. And, Indust, being the player that he is, said, I'm going to do that too.
Yeah, of course. So now looking very good, and if they're really quick about it, 20B are certainly going to be able to come into last here, and man, oh man, Harblu's going to come in and try to spoil the party, though, a little bit. He's up on bats right now, and so 20B got to play smart. Uh-oh, Harblu's in behind. Harblu's on Spire right now, but the push has come into last, and this is going to be very interesting. We have the Uber in. US Mike trying to hold them back. There is a gun that they need taken out. Ninja Nick, though, and Grape are just... Or, sorry, Ninja Nick and Deadbolt are just down below, and... I don't know, we've got the cap back now going, oh boy, we're going to cap this last, and there it is, Street Hoops. It was a good play by Harb, but didn't work perfectly in the end.
Yeah, he didn't distract enough players, but we'll do comms for this mid, I think, right? Oh no, we've lost Getawhale, so I'll just cover this. I can't switch the comms, I don't have the power. So we're just going to go on this mid here. We got a bomb on the right side from Harblu. He's going to knock out Paragon. Ash is going to blow himself into meat. Blank's going to go down. Grape will get a rocket. Harblu and Pharaoh both down. It is a 2v3. Both meds are actually still alive. They're going to pile out our 20B, falling on back to Gray Bridge. So we'll probably see them rotate upper. Could see a pretty quick push from Madmen here. I don't know without Pharaoh. Because there is no positioning out here on 2 just yet. They're setting up for that Spire defense. But Madmen not going to take the ground offered to them and going to pull back. We do have the Spy. Yes, and Getawhale's back.
Sply, yeah, sorry about that. I had something...
no
but
worries.
We're all good now. But Harblu down to 52 health, and I don't know, if anyone was going to go Spy, it probably would be Harblu. He is still chilling around. This guy's a scout right now. He's going back to, he's getting off Spy. We have the LOLs being thrown out. Meanwhile, though, we do have the Ubers, absolutely, and we're running out of time in this half, and so both teams playing pretty aggressively. Grape comes right in and gets Pharaoh right off the bat with that Uber, and he's going to come around now, and he wants Blank as well. Looks like he's going to get him. Nice shotty there. Picks up Blank, and a pretty successful Uber. They got to follow up now. Time for the scouts to get in there. Looking at Indus, who's down to 49 health, but he grabs the pack. Paul, I was looking at the scouts there on 20B because they've been really good sort of in this match, sort of following up on the Ubers as we've seen, I mean, for what, 4, 5 seasons now?
Mm-hmm. And Sizer is very used to that role too, so he's doing pretty good with it. We have Indus on the Gray Bridge. He's down to 50 health. That's pretty much going to be the end of that one, and we can see the difference in positioning methods here. Because Madmen like to put their pocket to the left when they push 2.
Yeah.
But if you can see, Toy B is going to the right, and they're having a little bit of an easier time of it. We do have a little bit of crazy in the flank, though.
Yeah, I'm looking at Harb, a little bit of shenanigans going on the corner shenanigans story. Harblu just doing that Harblu thing. You know, he's such a strong player, but sometimes you look at him and you wonder, what the hell is he up to? And actually, speaking of going in behind, we've got Seymour who just came in on Ash. Ash got Harblu. Seymour got a little pick. Seymour just kind of watched it all go down. We had Ubers, meanwhile, popped off back at Spire, you know, the game. And Indus is running around with Uber right now, no one to heal. He finally does get Pharaoh, but I've got to say, they're not in a great position right now.
Yeah, it's... Even though Madmen have advantage, they're 2 down, so they can't really push until they get their numbers, and then by then you're going to have some kind of thing set up on 2 that's specifically designed to ruin all of your hopes and dreams. So
why don't, listen, Marxist, sorry to interrupt, why don't we listen to Madmen right now? They're coming right out. Do we want to hear them? We haven't heard anyone yet. Here comes Uber.
Get on Slayer, get on Slayer.
The control point is being contested. Our control point is being captured.
Don't know where you would have gone.
Okay, well that was perhaps bad timing. Well, we get there. We had another. I mean, Marxist, is all we're gonna have just these sneaky kind of caps, or
well, that was the Madmen violated the rule. If you pop Uber out on second, you don't have enough time to both fight through the 8-second Uber and also cap the point before you are back capped. And that's exactly what happened. So, because if you're on the other team and you see an Uber come out on you when you're in second doing we have designed this play specifically to ruin this sort of thing, you should, if you're the person being shot at by the Uber, you back up to pull them away from their last, and then everybody else just runs to last.
Well, at any rate,
and it's ruined.
Yeah, we come into halftime with Street Hoops coming back from a 2-1 deficit to now lead 3-2 in halftime. Looking at some stats right now, and I always first look at the DPM. Grape, of course, is at any shock, 329 DPM, which is pretty impressive for Badlands. When you're thinking of the half, I mean, what happened there to Madmen, say, in the second, the last 15 minutes, say, of that half? Was there a change, or was it the same all the way through? What did you see from Madmen, Marxist?
Well, the big problems, if I were to say there are problems for Madmen, the big problems are a lot of their second pushes have been really bad, and it's mainly because they're favoring the left side rather than the right. You could counter that by saying, well, everyone expects you to go right because that's the best way to do it, but at the end of the day, it's just the best way to do it, and you pretty much have to put your faith in that. So they've had a lot of trouble with not being able to cap second and giving up pretty bad pushes to 20B. They've also had some confused offensive Ubers, but on the bright side for them, a lot of the defensive Uber v Uber situations have come out really good for Madmen. So I doubt we're at the stage where they would say, every time we have a defensive Uber, it's a huge win for us. So we should just fake offensive Ubers back up and take a defensive Uber.
That would be maybe overthinking it. No, I mean, certainly they want to see those go their way more often. I mean, they looked certainly pretty strong from the outset of this match. Each medic has a frag, which is interesting. We talked about the aggressive play of both medics off of the start of this one. In terms of team damage, Street Hoops with a big advantage there, and I posted the link. We're having a couple issues with graphics, guys, and overlays. Sorry about that, out of our control, but you can certainly look at the stats there. I linked them in Twitch chat if you're in there. But no, certainly, I mean, I feel like this one could go either way. There's been a lot of talk. I mean, this is a really big week in ESEA Invite Marxist, and this is one of the big matches that everyone was talking about. And to go from 2-1 Madmen to 3-2 Street Hoops in not a very long period of time. I mean, 10, 12 minutes. I think we're going to have a hell of a finish here. Do you want to... this is your chance right now. If you want to change your prediction...
There's also one thing I want to throw out.
Okay.
Do you see what it says under Ninja Nick's name under the D column?
I do see that. I see a number 1.
The number 1.
D, of course, means death.
He played through 5 rounds and died 1 time. I like to say, here's another Marxism if you want. I like to say the optimal sort of death number, like if you're just any medic and you're going to play a game and your team isn't awful, you should expect, and you kind of know what you're doing, so there are some big intangible ifs. You're going to die like 13 times in a game, and so Ninja Nick is way ahead of the curve.
He is. Well, why don't we listen to his team, Street Hoops eSports, off of this mid? Agree, disagree?
Agree.
So, pussy slope.
I'm gonna go choke this one.
Okay.
Oh, fuck, last one.
Oh, Demo's window.
Scout our shit house.
I'm on our...
They're going soldier.
I have good damage on our shit.
Harv's weak in our house. He's gonna flank.
That scout's
I'm
50.
dead, I'm dead.
I'm weak. Scout's down.
I'm not in the fight. I can come back in a second.
It's just med scout.
Oh, I did that wrong. I'm in our house. I'm coming out.
I think a few of them did something wrong there. Of course, we're just talking about Ninja Nick, and right off of that middle, he went down real quick right away. Good focus fire by Madmen.
Yeah, we may have cursed him, but we got the healed scout versus not healed and other things. And, he's gonna get him though, it's Deadbolt with the pipe. So Deadbolt, he's taunting on the point though, and we had a medic see that and make his escape.
You can't, I mean, it's still fun to see taunts, isn't it? In invite matches, I think of the congas at mid by Classic Mix-Up, RIP. Meanwhile, we have Pharaoh now taking this Uber, a nice pop by Indust. Pharaoh going to back up a little bit, they're going to scare 20B out of here. They're going to have an Uber advantage. We might be looking at some more back and forth Ubers here, Marxist, as 50% now on Uber is what Ninja Nick has, and already interesting, but look at the aggressiveness. Grave coming right straight out. Deadbolt getting blank. Pharaoh going down as well. Real big aggressiveness, and I think it's exactly when we needed to see it from Street Hoops. I mean, there's a time to play passive, easy for me to say, and that wasn't it.
Yeah, Madmen got too excited about the fact that they might be able to cap the point, and Blank went up correctly to block out. but he was alone in that, and 20B definitely noticed that it was Blank with no heal beam on him, so they just rushed him down and came in, and that was pretty much the end. The gates were open.
Yeah, so now we're looking again at this situation on second that we've talked about so many times here actually so far, as Street Hoop's going to go ahead and cap it. Should Madmen do something different here, or should they just stick to the game plan? Sizer goes down.
Well, right here they're okay. They can, with that Sizer pick, they can try to do something.
Yeah.
Harblue takes an arrow. I think that may be all he needs. They're sending out the little flanker crew. He's going around behind, finds the soldier in the lobby,
Oof.
and dies.
The Stairs get the assist on that little kill there by Grape, I think. Harblue just barely missing getting Grape. Ash is up now on Bats, and 20B, do we want to listen to them?
Sure.
Need some ammo.
Get the one in lobby.
Check for traps, upper lobby. I'm in upper
I
lobby.
just
right
want
now.
to make sure
Scout
that
lower.
Scout still isn't.
I'm right
They
now.
know.
There's a
I'm
scout lower
sniper.
right, he's just peeking.
Look for their off glasses while we still can.
Can you sticky main, Chris?
Yeah, I'm gonna go do
Just so if something rushes, Paul.
Harb likes
I'm
to
gonna go
push
off bottom
that,
right.
yeah. Harb just jumped to top right. These donks are so annoying for top left.
I'm hurt. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'll cross.
No, you can just arm it.
Oh, soldiers on the ground, they're trying to spam me.
Scout's top right.
Taking
They have
ammo
a
on
sniper
lobby.
top right? Or is that a soldier?
I'm getting out,
I think it was just a
Their
soldier.
demo like looks like he's watching a trap, but
Scout on me. Oh.
Nice.
do we
You
want to
got
go
videos
trade
next to you?
Ubers?
Yeah, you should. Taking
Okay,
some.
call
I
it.
got their demo up there too.
Hold it.
We
Flank's
popped.
lower left,
I would've
jump.
gone top.
They used. They flashed. Come to main, Nick.
I'm
Are
not,
you
I'm not with you.
Okay.
Somebody
I'm
walks
getting-
behind.
They're trying to
making
push
sure that-
lobby. They're trying to push
I'm
lobby.
watching bottom right.
I'm main right now.
I'm bats right now.
Catch pushing.
Nice play. It's still breaking down here, Marxist, and we'll call it another second here, but seems like the push really failed. The last thing I caught was Ninja Nick just being really bounced around. Really good job by the Madmen and their soldiers there.
Yeah, the tiny doorway was hard to manage, and they didn't have enough firepower to block there. It was just that basically there was only a scout for Nick there, and actually big
Madmen just
kills.
fell apart a little bit on the flank. I just got Paragon and Deadbolt actually. I didn't see the Deadbolt pick, but I saw Paragon with a nice little one. The other thing I pick up on is they push in. We have a heavy now on last, and we've got the re-push, by the way. Seymour down below goes down. We're going to call this all the way through. Grape gets on it, goes down to Pharaoh real nice. Now we got SMG out from Sizer. It's only Sizer trying to do it. Another failed push. We got Mike back up and Harblue. What I was going to point out is you heard them mention there that the loose cannon is so annoying on that last, and you've got to think that's a factor for anyone that's gone up against it at last. Pharaoh rocking the loose cannon, Marxist.
Yeah, pushing top left is like the preferred way to do it, and Ninja Nick goes
Harb
down to
just got him.
Harblue flank,
Yeah.
though.
Harb came around the choke area and picked out Ninja Nick. So Ninja Nick not having a great time right now, and we've got more action now up on Bats, and I don't know, I think it feels like both teams just feeling the time and getting that aggressiveness going. Paragon is in, he's going to back off a little bit. But yeah, no, certainly, I mean, we haven't really seen Heavy too much, we've only seen it once, but that loose cannon, you can't say enough about those choky areas and defending those with the loose cannon. Kind of a smart move by Pharaoh.
Yeah, it forces the other team to consider having to push through main, and I would be surprised if we don't see that coming soon. It's not that it's bad. It's just harder. It gives your medic fewer options because the only way for him to get out is main. So you don't like to do that. At least with left, there's a little bit of a question for the other team's pocket which doorway he should go to. But we'll see now. We got Indust with Uber. It looks like they're gonna go for it. Blank going in. We'll see if their offensive Ubers can get a little better. It doesn't look like they're gonna get anything, and the leapfrog Uber is imminent. So it's already here. So I don't think we're gonna see Madmen cap this, but Ash and Paragon are very hurt. So we're set up for more of a repush, but Blank gonna get killed by the pistol of Sizer. Grape gonna go down, and then we're gonna pause.
Right, pausing in the middle of kind of a tug of war here. And we've seen this a few times that both of these teams have had a couple Ubers where they've tried to push across all of middle, and you kind of underestimate how long of a stretch of land that is across the bridge of middle to try to chase picks down with an Uber, you know?
Yeah, that's part of good TF2 here is that the doors on Badlands are very forward-looking. So if you're playing passively, it's pretty easy for you to force them by doing nothing. And that's pretty much what happens every time you push out of the house, because the probability of spam and sticky trap is just too high. And you can't really peek it because you'll instantly die if there's a trap there. So then you just run away, and it makes it really hard for them to get their kills that they need to get, and then you just push back in because it's pretty easy to do that. So we'll see if maybe they adjust. You can push through Valley on this map, and sometimes you'll catch people out because they're looking for you to come out of the door, and then they see a bunch of people fall to the ground, and that's not something they're used to dealing with. And so sometimes they will stick around, and that gives you a better chance of getting your Uber to do what you want it to do.
Hopefully, if you can pull it off. Ideally, you do what you want to do with your Uber. Guys, we want to make a note. Sorry if we have some inaccuracies with the scoreboard. That the server that the scoreboard is on is having troubles, and so bear with us there. It is 3-2 Street Hoops, though. We are in the second half. If you're just joining us, and Marxist, what's in your head right now if you're Madmen? Because you're down 3-2. This is a pretty important match. I mean, we talked about how Madmen really need all the wins they can get in the second half of the season. Is it time to pull out, weird stuff? Is it time to try crits, or is it time to, do anything different? Or what would be, if you were, playing on this Madmen team, what are you thinking right now in this particular Badlands situation?
Well, I don't think we're going to see crits, but, we're actually going to unpause. Harblue's bomb comes to nothing. He's going to pull them back for a little bit. Gonna trade out players here, as my scoreboard is now broken, but it looks like the Madmen are gonna be able to secure mid in their little vibrating football player board way.
Yeah, you can see after the pause, of course, the players do the little slide around army men thing. Indus is still just kind of playing back home at middle right now. I'm not sure if they know where the Ubers stand. The other thing about a pause is it can, I don't know, sometimes you can throw off your image of where you stand in terms of Ubers, but it's 100% Uber for Indus and about 70 for Ninja Nick right now. It looks like they know what they've got. They're going to come on right through. There's not a lot sending in the way right at choke, but they've got to get up onto this. And it looks like actually Indus taking a little bit of damage and is going to sneak right back out there. I was going to say there was nothing right at the choke area, but getting up onto that spire is not an easy task. And now we've got 20B are wrapping around, and they're sending in Ash, for example, to jump mid. It's going to back off though, but 20B, they're not going to just give up land for free here.
Yeah, and here we go with a little bit of Valley pressure coming from 20B. So that we're starting to see that evolution here. You try to do what you're used to, but eventually you just got to start trying to switch things up. And really, if you're in 20B's position, if you want to get a little risky, it won't hurt so bad because you're still in the lead.
Right, of course, they certainly, they're not going to park the bus, but they certainly have a little bit of latitude when it comes to that. It looks like Madmen are maybe thinking of, well, they're keeping their flank guarded, they're doing what they need to do, and both teams just waiting for, here comes Harb in with the sack, and he's going to get in on Ninja Nick. He does force the Uber, so there's the sack, and Pharaoh going to back up now, and Madmen actually a little slow backing up. They've got 20B right in their face. They need to get up. Indus is taking a lot of damage. Finally now pops. I don't know about this pop. It seemed like a panic pop.
Well, yeah, I think normally they just want to hold it, but they were a little too slow. Maybe this is when the pause actually happened, because I just saw the text burst. So maybe there was a little bit of confusion about what was going on there when the pause happened. But, yeah, definitely not the best situation for Madmen. You don't want that in your defensive Uber, but they're doing a good job here fighting on the sort of follow-up fight. Blank is playing some MGE middle, but Sizer gonna catch Seymour with a 2-shot. He's gonna give the all caps LOL and lament his life. He
took
says,
the shot for my boy. There's Seymour, a little bit of comedy. Blank, did a hell of a job. He didn't get necessarily the kills, but got some big assists on Grafe and a couple others there, playing that little bit of MGE. And now, I don't know if they're going to come right in here or not. Both teams do have Uber. And look at 20B. They're going to force the issue right down the throat. Is Grave coming right out into lobby. Neither Uber popped right now. I'm very surprised, though, that it hasn't been. Harblue's back up. He's going to get there, and Paragon has come back up as well. That was almost an explosive situation there in lobby, as real aggressive defense by Street Hoops. And now Blank is in, and we've got Shotty's down, and he goes down, and this is falling apart for Madmen right now. Blank got kind of caught with his pants down, and both Ubers are still there. I don't know our teams, they just don't want to use Uber.
Yeah, well, they don't want to have a bad Uber, but now you've got the pop. So I'm really, really deeply surprised that Seymour didn't just run the last, because that would have forced the issue there for Grape, and now you've got a soldier standing on Spire who is capping it, and it's going to go down, and the Madmen are in a really bad spot. You can't just stand here in this spot or you're going to start to lose people. There you go.
Mike comes
But
in. Mike wrapped around Spire and got looked like the med and the demo. Ash going down as well. Blank with a big kill there, but Paragon in still, and he's going to do what he can. Paragon will be cleaned up. Boy, oh boy, and we're seeing more and more of these big sort of explosive fights. Gotta give a lot of credit though, but no, I mean, they moved in exactly how you called it. I mean, you saw that develop right before your eyes, Marxist.
Yeah. And that last little play out there was really ballsy by 20B, for lack of a better term, because they just threw Paragon right into Indust and then started pushing out normally, even though they'd lost Paragon, and it confused Madmen in all sorts of ways. But now we're gonna see a last push.
When do we get Madmen's comms?
Yeah.
What's that? We're in. We're not doing a lot with Darver.
Not a lot there on the comms. But I think it may still be a little out of sync. Like I mentioned, we're having a little trouble earlier with our little server, but kind of quiet. I don't know if we're expecting much different though from the Madmen comms. I feel like they're real loud during the exciting moments, but during these kind of stalematey times, they don't really have a lot going on.
Yeah, we might be out of sync, because that didn't sound like I just got headshot comms from Harbor.
Right.
But we'll see. They're out here with the super. They force it again. We'll see. They brought the pyro down. Simu gonna get victimized by a flare shot. And you're still in really good position to push pyro or no. Grape doing his pyro thing. He's pretty good at it. And now he's gonna die though. And Ash is too. So that's really gonna reset things. I don't know. Blank is gonna go down. Endust's gonna get pressured out. But Hard Blue here to save the day. He's got a scout right in his face. There we go. Pharaoh helps pick up the kill. They might be able to block this. No, they're going to let it go for now, which will hurt Blank.
I mean, I think, well, I'm looking at Street Hoops right now, and I think Street Hoops are starting to feel that, and I'm starting to feel that if Street Hoops get caught in a bad situation, if they come in and bleed one or two players at the wrong time, Madmen could really take a hold of this and come right back really strong. We see them coming into Spire here right now. Indus has full Uber. I don't know if they know that there's no Uber on the other side, but Grape is down and Ash is down as well, although a nice force there. Ash killed himself, but Indus got forced on Grey Bridge, and that's perfect for Street Hoops if you're a fan of them. Of course, they're up 3-2 right now. And Indus right now is just kind of walking around, doesn't quite know where to go. He loses his demo. That was a nice pick by Paul on Pharaoh. Seymour was... I don't know, I just saw a switch to Seymour, he went down. Break it down here a little bit.
Well, the Uber came out on a single scout, who is now Sizer, who's now playing Lord of the High Place, so he wins that battle with a relative ease. But yeah, the Uber came out from 20B, and Madmen just kind of, maybe they didn't even see it. They didn't react at all, and Pharaoh ended up dying for it. But Harblue gonna find himself some Christmas presents over in the flank and get both scouts, and that's gonna be the end of defending 2. I would not be surprised if they just go to last. Oh, they're gonna pop Uber
but they
right
get forced
away.
Again. Nice work there by Deadbolt, who looked like the sticks is what got it. Grape comes in and runs a little distraction play, so we're not gonna... Oh, I don't know. We've got a long respawn timer for Grape, but seems like Madmen are gonna try to force the issue here and walk right in. They're gonna stay up above. Ooh, they're thinking better of it.
Well, they don't have anybody capping 2. This is the problem right now.
Yeah, certainly they didn't finish the cap. Should we, they've only lost Seymour. Ash is back up in 7. Let's listen again as Madmen get ready here, see if they have anything more interesting for us as they push last.
Yeah, go sniper. Go sniper to hold yard.
Wow, you know, whenever I go to Madmen comms, I'm expecting Harblue yelling, we've got Ubers popped off, we'll talk about that in a second. It seems like maybe the bots aren't working for the whole team, maybe that's our issue, my apologies. Right now, only 2 Madmen players up, and Ninja Nick Oh, but
They
Madmen.
tried to have an Uber fight on second and paid for it by getting back capped.
Golly.
That's the third time that this has happened in the game, so my rule is feeling very happy.
It's great, yeah. Well, Marxist, I was going to allude to the fact that Street Hoops are really on their heels now, and Madmen, I feel like, are very smartly kind of taking advantage of it, and they're really letting Street Hoops make the mistakes. We'll see how this mid plays out. What do you call it?
Yeah, so we got a right-sided mid here for the 20B guys. You're in a reverse mid. I like to say whoever dies first loses this mid, so we're going to see what happens. Whoever gets the first kill, and that's the Madmen, Harbloom, Pharaoh. Now you're trapped on the wrong side, basically, and bad times are ahead.
Well, yeah, again, now, I mean, if I'm Street Hoops, though, you really need to take advantage of this situation. We are coming down to, you know, the end of this half, and we've seen Street Hoops win so many mids, but they've got to follow it up. I mean, it's same old story, you know what I mean? But getting told that our comms were fixed here right now. Sorry again, guys, for the issues there. Ninja Nick, oh my god, gets put down to 20 HP and loses his Uber. I was just going to talk about how he had it. Now he doesn't have it. They're going to get this cap with second, but I don't know if timing is going to be playing on the side of Street Hoops right here.
That's frustrating to me, just watching it. Like, I don't know what they were doing. Maybe Deadbolt said he needed ammo or something, but they needed to just go to last, and then they decided to just chill in lobby and listen to a record or something, and Ninja Nick got forced because he was just standing there in the open, but we got a back cap going and he gets the kill!
Nice play!
Taking the lead again are the Street Hoops.
Yeah, so guys, right now we're looking at a lead for Street Hoops. It is 4-3. There are 13 minutes left in the half. I give credit to all the Street Hoops players, actually. A lot of them sort of just came together and all got picks at the same time, and suddenly Promised Land was there. And anyway, I'm looking at Ash on this mid. Ash is my favorite player to watch on middles. He comes in, he's got nothing, and so he's going to think of going in behind. Actually, he meets Harblue, though, and he goes down. Meanwhile, back on mid, we've got Ninja Nick is in-house with his demo right now. We had one pick. Ash actually went down, meanwhile. Indus is standing right on middle. The Madmen people are sort of crowding this mid, and as long as they can stay alive, although looks like Harblue and Pharaoh are about to go down. 20B are in a situation now where they're just coming out, and they were looking for cheap picks, but they all end up in a graveyard.
Well, 20B came out and tried to do what they did exactly last time, and that got called out by Madmen. We'll see if they find the stealth record player. No, they don't. They are going, and we've already got a player
Harb's
on.
right on it.
Harb found a sneaky demo, but they've got on. Yeah, that's how you should do it. That was textbook.
Yeah, playing the Dr. Phil move up there, doing some demo and caught Harblue out, but they get it anyway. We're gonna have a finish here, boys and girls. Let's listen to Street Hoops on this middle as it's tied 4-4. It's match point both sides.
Demo's window. Hit once.
Harb's our side.
I'm on our slope.
They're pushing under with people.
Yep. Scout's on me. I'm done.
That's it once.
That's
I'm dead.
Blank's weak.
Scout's
Scouts in our house build.
Demo's up.
Okay.
Wow, there you go. Fast and furious, quick and to the point, and you can hear some frustration there from one of the members of 20B is real fast mid, and Madmen, are they going to finish this right here? We're looking at match point if they can finish this off, and our whole little analogy with the record player, looks like Street Hoops are going to get a little defense up here, and I don't think Madmen is certainly not in the position to come in, but the scouts were chomping at the bit there like they wanted it.
Yeah, well, we're going to see a strong Spire defense come out. I like that play from Grave. I don't know if it'll work out because Ninja Nick is under a lot of pressure right now. He's going to duck in and make it out. Harblue and Mike are both going to go down. Blank going to pick up Paragon. And Pharaoh's going to get Grape, so that'll probably set us back to where we were. Seymour actually going to get Sizer. That may be the end of the game.
Street Hoops are in real bad. They're in trouble here. They're down below. They have 3 players up. Here comes Madmen, and Street Hoops are going to have no defense to this. I mean, they're just going to be able to get right on the last tier. There's a lot of kills going down, but really nobody there at all, and just a terrible time to lose players there for Street Hoops. And not only were they out of position, but they were 3 versus 6. So Madmen pull this one off, and a real back and forth match, Marks. The Street Hoops were initially down, they came back, but then they fell. It's a 5-4 for Madmen.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the kind of person that second guesses things, that push out onto 2 will probably be pretty big for 20B, but I like the call. That you don't want to just set it last and let them figure out some way to beat you. They opened the gates and valiantly rode out and tried to get Spire back, which is something they had been able to do pretty consistently throughout the game. And they ended up just getting disorganized when they had to pull back, and the Madmen got out a really great game.
Yeah, it was a really great game, and like I said, I talked about toward the end, I really kind of sensed a difference where, as a team, Street Hoops really felt like they were, I don't know, they were always retreating and they were on their heels, and Madmen were sort of just playing real smart and real efficient, focus fire real smart, and very impressive. Madmen are here to stay, and it was very impressive. And actually, they're in terms of team damage, I mean, Street Hoops had about 6,000 more damage than them, which is a pretty fair margin, but still Madmen able to pull that one out. Certainly it was close in the end. Just looking at the stats here a little bit, which if our overlay's not working, I can link. We're trying to get interviews here right now. We're trying to speak to some of the Madmen.
So I went down and talked to them. So they're coming on in. There's Blank.
Hello.
And you must have Micah.
Hello.
Hello, we got Michael, we got Blank. Boys, congratulations, first of all. That was a hell of a match.
Thank you.
How do you feel? It was a hell of a finish. I mean, we tried to listen into your comms a couple times. The bot wasn't quite working, but what was going on in there that last, say, 5-10 minutes?
We were just like, can we stop backing up and just take fights? Because we're not very good at passivity, and we seem to do that in matches when it matters. I don't know. Rather than hold S, we held W. It was it's really all there was, I think.
After that 8th round, we had a huge momentum because we went mid to last, and it was like the 9th round felt good.
Yeah, I mean, we sort of sensed that, and actually we both talked about it. Marxist made the point about how you guys weren't maybe playing the passive stuff very well, and then toward the end, we really saw a big difference where it seemed like Street Hoops was just really on their heels for, I mean, not just the last 5 or 10 minutes, I mean, really almost the whole second half. What happened during halftime? I mean, certainly you guys were up at first, and then they stormed right back and took a few in a row. Was there something at half to, did you guys kind of wake yourselves up or whatever and kind of, shake your heads a little?
Well, one of the things we talked about was we were getting Uber forces, but we'd always just back so far up that eventually we'd just pop while being caught backing up, and it's even if we pop here, we're not going to do anything. So that was one of the things where we said if we get a force, they're likely going to end up pushing into us and forcing us anyways. There's no point in backing up because you're not going to get anything, so you might as well go forward there and try to get something out of it. And we were also dropping Pharaoh on some of those. It was just a bit of a disconnect.
I think the first half, they got, I think, 1 back cap, and then we got the second half, so it kind of even. The first half was more even, and the second half was more even than it seemed. It just, where the back caps happened to fall.
Yeah, there were a lot of back caps actually too. And I wanted to ask you, Mike, we heard that apparently yourself and Seymour were kind of switching roles in terms of passive scout and aggressive scout. Was that kind of in play tonight, or I was looking at it a little bit, but hard to say.
Kinda. Mostly I just go and do what I want to do. But I tried to play more combo-y for this, which I think actually hurt us a bit. But we'll see how it goes. I don't think we're going to have rolls from now on. We're just going to roll around and shoot stuff.
Works for me. I mean, we all saw it work here tonight. Marxist, what's up? Got questions?
Yeah. So the points I made for going through the game where your guys' second pushes were pretty tough, but that last one I feel was pretty indicative of your guys' change of strat, because they had done that. Let Madmen cap second, and then we'll just push right back out and take Spire back. And then that time you won the game. Because it didn't work for them. Yeah, so what I'll do the shady cast thing. What was going on with my baby girl Pharaoh? Was there some kind of comm disconnect? What did you do? Pharaoh does whatever you tell him to do.
We're still trying to figure everything out right now. So, I think he kind of doesn't know exactly where he needs to play. He doesn't have a place yet.
Yeah.
So we're trying to feel that out.
Well, it's hard too, because, like, we play generally aggressive in scrims, then in matches if we slow down, like, you know, if you do something you're not accustomed to, you're just gonna be kind of out of place. As well as, I don't know, we keep switching things up, so, like, it's honestly hard for anybody to fall into a role there.
Yeah, Demo Man's pretty odd. But you guys are now pretty solidly, at least as of right now, pretty solidly in the lead. You got two 7-3 teams now below you.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys are at 8-2, but the thing that's we can touch on it real briefly here. I mean, you have some important matches coming up, and certainly one advantage that Street Hoops has is their schedule. They're up against some teams that aren't really teams the next few weeks. If you guys have your next 4 are all against real teams. I mean, you've got Elevate, Cisco, Ding Dong Daddy, you've got Yomi's. How comfortable do you feel, for these next 4 matches that are obviously going to be so important for your LAN standing?
Elevate's going to be really hard, I think. And yeah, Daddy's does really well against us, so that's pretty scary too.
Have you thought that far ahead yet, or are you just sort of going?
No, we're really worried about this week, so we haven't really thought about the next weeks yet. But we only have to play 1 match on Sunshine, and that's a pretty weak map of ours. So probably with the extra focus on that, we'll do fine. So
Yeah,
I think we're looking okay.
I guess you lucked out in terms of the way the schedule went with kind of the up and down of the teams. Blank, your thoughts on what's next?
We're just gonna roll around and shoot people, as Mike said earlier. That's just gonna be my focus. I'm gonna show up and shoot, and then yeah, I think it will be okay.
Shoot stuff, press W. Blank, little question here. Are you ready for your team to get in game jerseys? Get some of those good-looking jerseys we've seen on casts? Is that going to be a thing?
Well, as long as they don't look ugly, I guess. Actually, if it looks ugly, that's pretty cool, because we die to a guy who looks like an idiot. You just feel bad about it, so... Actually, yeah. Go out there and, like, do the opposite of what you want to do, so it turns out hideous, and I think we'll roll with it.
Just make ugly ones. Well, certainly, if you guys go to LAN, that's what I'm kind of alluding to. If you do make it, you're going to have jerseys in the game, like we've seen, last LAN. Of course, the top 4 teams all had their own jerseys, because we'll have to wait and see. Uber Chain, of course, made those gorgeous jerseys, the ones that we saw tonight on the Street Hoops crowd. Shoutouts to Uber Chain, and she's putting her Patreon and stuff, and she did some of the cool animations and whatever. Boys, did you have shoutouts? This is the time.
Shout out to my team. Shout out to Street Hoops. They played amazing. I guess that's about it. Shout out to all my friends. There's too many to say.
Wow. He's got a lot of friends. Blank shout outs?
No, I'm just not one for talking too much.
Well, shout out to all the clowns out there. Shout out to you guys for casting this game, TFTV and whatnot, Enigma. Shout out to Street Hoops. That was like another nail-biter match that we've had this season. Could have gone either way. And I know Seymour wants me to say this, but smoke big weed.
Smoke big weed. I don't know what that means exactly. But anyway, it was certainly a nail-biter. Madmen coming out on top and moving to 8-2. Of course, Street Hoops moving to 7-3, but it is still kind of a log jam up in those standings, and a lot of playoff implications coming up the next several weeks. Certainly, we will be bringing it all to you here on teamfortress.tv. If you're watching live, remember we've got YouTube. If you're watching this VOD, remember to join us live and to visit teamfortress.tv. Do you have anything else, Marxist? Some words of wisdom as we sign off?
Well, I can give Blank one more humorous aside, because we talked about what'll happen in these seasonal games when teams start to feel the pressure, and I know the Madmen are in possession of the Mad documents. Was there ever a time where the Mad documents were getting a little hot in their safe?
Nah, that shit's buried under a desert out in the Sahara. Only Pharaoh has access to it, because he can move the sands. Good old King Tut.
Mm-hmm. Well, that answers that little question.
There you go, boys. Well, thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Thanks to Mike and You Must Mike for coming in and chatting to us. And like we said, that's about it. My name's Getawhale. His name is Marxist. Shoutouts to Dashner on the production. Also, shoutouts again to Uberchain and Gentleman John for livening up our stream with some cool overlays and whatnot. We will see you guys next week. Have a good night.